This content is for kids.
It's not for kids.
Isn't that what I said?
No, it's not for kids. If you are 13 years or younger, this is not for you. Do I have to kill somebody in order to actually make that point across?
No, man, you don't have to kill
Wait
no
a
one.
second.
Oh, no.
We return to our planet. The High Court may well sentence you to torture.
He likes movies, we like movies. SeptumSin versus the world. SeptumSin versus the world. SeptumSin versus the world. SeptumSin versus the world. I'd buy that for $1.
Greetings, you're watching SeptumSin versus the world. I'm SeptumSin. This is Kotobukijake.
Hey.
We're here to show you what we got.
Show me what you got. I want to see what you got. Oh boy.
Indeed.
All right, so we got some fun stuff here. Had some Black Friday and Cyber Mondays going on. Cyber Monday has gotten to be really nothing much because everything is already on sale by Black Friday. So there's nothing. It's just like we're going to continue from basically Thursday to Monday. In some places, they started at Monday. But we had some fun sales. Not a lot of great things. I wasn't able to do as much as I liked to in the past. I did get some of the things that I really wanted to get from the Vinegar Syndrome and a couple other things.
They got me beat.
Some fun deals. None of them have anything to do with what I'm going to be presenting here today, though. Right. So, we will, I guess, get started. I'll let you lead us off with your pickup today.
Okay. And my pickups will have jack shit to do with Black Friday or Cyber Monday because I've been broke and have made no purchases over the past couple of weeks. So, very unusual for me this time of year, but it happens now and then.
But maybe it was a Black Friday, but like years ago.
Well, no, I didn't. Well, no, I take that back. I think one of these may have been a Black Friday pickup years and years ago.
There you go.
But so I do have a few that I picked up about a month ago. But I'm going to lead off with a handful of items from my collection. He wanted a big stack of stuff. Apparently, he's got some fun theme going on. So I had to dig up a bunch of stuff. I am mostly sure that these have not yet been presented on this channel. These the first 7 are items that I quite like, that I am quite fond of, that deserve a mention, but they're not really new. At first off is a collection of that represents a franchise that is a sentimental favorite of mine. It has not aged 100% like fine wine. It has probably aged a little bit more like a decent stout. It is one of the prototypical harem anime, Love Hina. So this is my Hina collection. I have the complete collection, which is a misnomer because it only covers the series, but that is the entire series. And then we've got the Christmas movie, the spring movie, which are really just glorified OVA specials. They're not really full movies, but, solid continuations of the story. And then the sequel, Love Hina Again, which was a very short series, 3 episodes, I believe, where they bring a whole new character into the mix just to mix things up again. And, but it basically, this is one of the rare franchises where all the pieces really tell a linear story. None of these are really side stories. None of them are fully extraneous. And in fact, the Christmas special is particularly important because it wraps up the main love story from the plot. And then these two come along to try to shake it up, as you do. And I really love the Christmas special. This is probably one of my most watched Christmas episodes in any media ever. I've probably watched this as much as almost any Christmas movie, even. There's maybe a few exceptions. Maybe the Garfield special, maybe Home Alone, or It's a Wonderful Life, some of those. But this is up there. But the show centers around a twice failed Tokyo U would-be student, Keitaro Urashima, whose aunt, actually, I believe his grandmother actually owns the Hinata Springs Hot Springs dormitory, that his aunt sort of is like, she sort of manages, but she's not really in charge. And like he comes in to be in charge, and there's this motley assortment of girls that live there that, each form a different type. Some of them are more actual potential partners than others, but, typical harem style. You got a bunch of stuff thrown into the mix, including turtles. You actually don't see the other character, major character, whose name somehow is escaping me. Wow. I can't believe it. My brain is but she, yeah. So it's a fun series about, college life, dorm life, but more just about crazy hijinks between the sexes. Yeah.
All right.
And fun postscript to that, Ken Nakamatsu, the mangaka behind that, is now an elected representative in Japan, supposedly fighting for free speech. So we'll see how that goes.
Well,
yeah.
I will say I've got the Ultimate collection, which does have everything together.
All right.
And I remember getting it back in the day for $75, which nowadays you can get it for next to nothing. But it was really cool at the time. I remember getting it at Best Buy. And then I remember Rocky's friend Jason, who wasn't a big anime fan, just he got a hold of a copy, my copy, when he was visiting Rocky when they was living in Charlottesville, and he just plowed through it just from the beginning to the end.
Right.
That's one that has not aged as well with me.
Yeah.
But let's talk about Amityville.
Okay.
I've been collecting Amityville stuff for a while, but I've got 10 titles I haven't talked about yet on here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that now and get them done.
It's to think how those will age.
So, the latest one, which I just got a couple of days ago, is a title called The Ghosts of Amityville, which I think, because I know I'm going to lose it if I don't, in the Amityville Shuffle, I'm just going to file it under Amityville. I didn't even know about this one until a while ago. While I did it, I don't know the director. I don't know any of the people involved, which I guess is a good thing. It's not this killer clown, this Amityville killer clown. So I'm curious about it. I mean, a lot of these titles just kind of put Amityville in it. Oh, I guess I could read it. There's no hiding from the curse. Follow the sudden tragic death of her mother. An 8-year-old girl is haunted by a demonic spirit of a man linked to the original Amityville murders, who eventually manifests himself in reality as her greatest fear, a creepy circus clown. Well, I guess at least they tried to do something. I mean, you know, that's something, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not really throwing that a big thing, but yeah, it's only one of my in there that I haven't like officially added to the collection yet. But that's gonna be fun, I guess.
Okay,
Maybe.
Good deal. Quick, Mutsumi Otohime. I knew I'd remember it, but the tale of Taro Urashima and Queen Otohime of Ryugu. This was my introduction to that. It's one of the older Japanese folk tales. I think they've called it some people call it the Japanese version of the Rip Van Winkle tale. That was the first I'd ever heard of it, was through that series. So yeah, you can learn through anything. You never know. One reason why I brought that one in too is we were going to be having a discussion this week, but I guess it's next week. We decided on the Vision of Escaflowne.
Yeah, because Roger couldn't make it.
Unfortunately, we're going to cover Escaflowne, and the person who's supposed to lead the charge for the discussion hopefully will make it next week. But we had determined that we wanted to go set the clock back a bit and look at some older anime, hence Escaflowne, and our upcoming one, which I can't remember if we've announced or not, so I'll just say we've got one in the wings. Love Hina was right on the cusp, I think. I want to say that came out, 98 or 99, maybe 2000, somewhere around there. One that I'm almost sure was 1998, so it did qualify, but we didn't get enough votes for it, sadly, is a favorite of a late friend of ours, and this is the show Martian Successor Nadeshiko. This, again, says the complete chronicles, but it doesn't have the movie. But I do have the movie elsewhere. Just didn't really bring it out. This was one where they tried to do a much different vibe with the movie, and it didn't quite mesh, unfortunately, with the show, because the movie was more serious and the show is not. But this is a really good show. I really enjoyed it. It's got a great opener. And it triggered this blue-haired girl here at the beginning, in front. Not this one. I can't remember her name offhand, but she is the captain of the ship. And she's a complete dingbat. Complete moron. And so one of my favorite memes was a picture of her, and they took the line from Spaceballs. On this ship, you are to refer to me as idiot, not you, Captain. I thought that was appropriate. But good show. I really enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to a chance to watch it again. Hopefully we will get it in on the channel eventually. It's not super long, 26 episodes, so the same length as Escaflowne. So it'd be worth a look one day.
All right. That's a fun show. Mm-hmm. I remember George loved that one in particular. And it was a good show. I enjoyed both that and the movie. I think my set has like mine's more of a, what is it? Those boxes, the
right.
cardstock boxes, and then I got the movies separately. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
My next one is one that I have people that I do know in, and that is Amityville Vampire.
Ooh.
The Amityville Vampire is a what do they call it? Those things, anthology film, but it connects because of this whole thing about this vampire curse that spreads from the house. And I'll give it kudos as it starts actually in the Amityville house, which is more to do with Amityville than a lot of these things. And this curse from the house spreads. So, I mean, David Sterling is the one who brought this to us. And And Dennis Devine is involved in a lot of the director of photography, and I like a lot of his work. So, and it was in general not a bad film. I actually did get to watch this one, and it was enjoyable. Something that was an interesting thing is that a friend of the channel actually is in this. Evan Jacobs was in this. I remember it because it was hilarious. We were having this conversation. I was like, so I saw your appearance in Amityville Vampire. It's like, I'm not in Amityville Vampire. And I'm like, well, I've got your name listed on IMDb. He's like, well, there's got to be a different Evan Jacobs. So then I sent him a clip of himself in that movie, and he's like, oh, with David Sterling. Well, I guess I am an Amityville Vampire. So it's kind of fun to see.
He had blocked it from his mind.
So it is a decent one. I mean, there are worse ways to go. I would watch this one again.
Good deal.
Not too bad. And I think Sterling still sells it. So, I mean, that Ghost of one just came up. So, yeah, it's good stuff.
Right.
Good stuff.
Good times. Another one that I would watch again. This is the one that I think probably was a Black Friday pickup at some point. Way back when. I think I picked it up when I was chilling at your place, so a while back. And this is one that we were introduced to by another friend of the channel who actually was probably going to be on our discussion tonight and will probably be next week. Our friend Brittany had introduced me, at least, to this series. And this is a series called Maria Holic.
Yeah.
Okay, there's Maria Holic Alive. That's the sequel. There's the original. So, essentially, the show focuses on Kanako, the one spurting blood there in the center. Kanako is the horny teen, to put it mildly. She also happens to be a girl who's going to an all-girls school who secretly would have it no other way. And she finds her... What's that?
Hmm?
Oh, I thought you said something. Anyway. And her secret is found out by Maria, this blonde-haired girl, who has a secret of their own, but basically, for various reasons, is able, mainly that Kanako has the big-time hots for this person. Basically, Maria makes Kanako her bitch. And that's kind of the series. It's got some kind of dark humor in it. They really do treat Kanako as a whipping post in this series. But she deserves most of it, to be honest. She is such a flagrant pervert. She deserves most of what she gets. Kind of like Ataru in Ursa Yatsura. Female version. This show is notable. The first opener is a great opener. This is a Shaft production, and you can tell from the openers it's a Shaft production, but that first opener is great. And the best character, trying to find if there's a picture. I don't think there is a picture. Oh, yeah, here we go. I don't know if we'll be able to see it very well. On the corner, on this right here, you can barely see her. The dorm mother. The dorm mother alone is worth the price of admission for this series. And this is one I'll probably eventually get the combined Blu-ray edition that Sentai has. I'm just waiting for the price to come way down. And I'm sorry about the glare. I just have really terrible lighting in this room. But
yeah, I was about that.
What's that?
I was going to ask about that because I have debated upgrading my copy for years, but not years, but for as long as that's been out. But it's like, I don't want to pay that much.
Well, these editions are Japanese only, so there is that definite reason for you to upgrade because you like the subs. But but like I said, it's a fun series. I read part of the manga. I don't remember how far I got with it, but it's a good time.
In the series, yeah, it's one of those. Like I've been slowly doing. Like Chunibyo, I prioritized because I had that part in DVD and part in Blu-ray. I need to get that, and there's a couple. Like I got one recently that I had only in DVD because they pushed the price down so far. I was like, well, shoot, I could do that. But it's When They Cry, another good example. I saved a ton of space by upgrading, and when Urusei Yatsura comes out, I'm probably going to eventually get it so that I can then sell my
save a lot of room.
And then use that money to just go ahead and buy the Blu-ray version of all the movies.
I'm already halfway there with the movies. I've been buying them as they come out pretty much, but I think there's a new one out that I don't have yet.
Well, my next one, I don't think I know these people, but it is Amityville Uprising.
Okay.
I'm not even sure that this has anything to do with Amityville, but it has the name in it. So let's see here. The living shall fall, and the dead shall rise. A chemical blast at a military base sets off supernatural disaster and the tense action horror thriller as Sergeant Dash tries to keep the peace at the local police station. The explosion releases a toxic acid rain that dissolves the flesh of anyone trapped in it. Even worse, it causes the dead to rise again and attack the living. Can Dash and fellow officer Nina Rossi figure out who is friend and foe, fend off the attacks, and defend their colleagues until the savage cataclysm subsides? So Amityville Uprising. I will say this, at least Amityville Vampire and Ghost of Amityville have something to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of those, isn't it? At least our short, which I can't show right now, but at least the short we made has something to do with Amityville. At least the movie I'm hoping to make will have something to do with it. This has nothing to do with it. Oh my goodness.
You watch. You're going to put it on, you're going to go, I was wrong. Probably not, but yeah.
I'll be glad to say that there's lots of them. There's like this Amityville prison one. Mm-hmm. There's one that's like about a witch's school that has nothing to do with Amityville at all. Mm-hmm. I've seen a number of these that have nothing to do. And you've agreed to help me on that project, so you'll get to see it eventually.
Mm-hmm.
Aren't you looking forward to that?
Oh, yeah.
I know you are. I know you're like, this will be the best thing ever.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, he's talking about a rather large project he has in mind. I have a lot of those that I wish I could do. It'd be really great to do. Like one that I thought would be a really fun one to do, that I've probably mentioned a couple times is a possibility, but it's probably not going to happen. Would be, I would love to just spend some time going through times when Oscar really, really, really buggered it up. And, actually, I think all four of the next ones I'm going to present could be illustrations of that. And the first one is an illustration of politics in action at the Academy. Because this is a film where they held the record for years for the youngest ever winner of Best Supporting Actress for someone who is the lead of the film. But, we can't really position a 10-year-old, I think she was 10, to be a lead actress. It just she'd never win. It's bullshit. But anyway, a film that I actually really, really, really liked. I thoroughly enjoyed it. actually probably my favorite film by Peter Bogdanovich, although I've only seen a smattering of his films, is a film from the early 70s called Paper Moon, which starred the father-daughter team of Ryan and Tatum O'Neal, Tatum being the aforementioned Oscar winner. You also got Madeline Kahn there in a rare, for me at least, non-Mel Brooks role. John Hillerman in there as well. It's basically a road movie about a father-daughter duo of con artists. And, it's a fun movie. It's really good. It's really well made. I like this one. And I'm actually, this is one I'd love to see a Criterion release for.
Yeah. Good movie. I haven't watched it in ages, but yeah, Good movie. Well, I guess since we went from a good movie, we'll have to go to a not so good movie, and that is Amityville Scarecrow. So it's about this woman who inherits this farm. It has nothing to do with Amityville, and there's this evil scarecrow thing hunting people down. And I thought this was going to be very somewhat exciting. You know, they got a pretty cool looking. I mean, scarecrows are scary looking. So I thought it was going to be pretty cool as a slasher, but it was very boring. Very bad pacing. Very boring. Still, if you like scarecrows, I guess you could do worse.
Yeah.
It looks creepy. But, I guess as far as Amityville films go that have nothing to do with Amityville, it's okay. There are worse films, but there are definitely better films out there.
Right. Kind of sad to think of something called Amityville Scarecrow as being boring. You'd think it'd be not so much.
Well, that's the worry. It's like, why?
So my next one actually was an Oscar nominee for foreign language feature. It probably I can't remember what won that year, but it certainly could have won, and I'd have been probably okay with it. I knew someone at the time this came out that he just raved and raved and raved for days about this film. And I do agree it's a really solid one. Probably should have gotten a little more love than it did. And that's a movie called Paradise Now. Did you ever see this one?
No.
It's basically about two friends who are would-be suicide bombers from Palestine who are on a mission in Israel. I say would-be because honestly, it's been ages since I've seen this film, and I can't honestly remember any spoilers to give you. Except that this is a film that really, I am really into the films that show the human side and the human cost of war. And I like ones that kind of reach into areas that people maybe were afraid to look, I guess you might say. So when I saw this movie, I was like, holy crap, this is like something that is a whole new world for me. It's been many years since I've seen this, and I don't know if I would have quite the same read on it now, but it's still a damn good movie. And like I said, I think anyone should look at these kind of war movies and just kind of see that it's usually not so black and white.
Well, I tell you one thing. If you want to look politics, I mean, look at Iran. I guarantee you're going to start seeing more suicide bombs or some terrorist events there. Because, again, now, it also goes to show you that terrorists are not always religious terrorists trying to kill freedom. Is sometimes you're terrorists going against a regime that they have nothing that they can handle. You might see some of that stuff in China. We get to see some very, very rare protests in China. We don't see those very often.
Well, see, both China and Iran are very large, diverse countries with tremendous artistic histories and regimes that don't want to admit it.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. Well, back to Amityville. This time, at least, it takes place in Amityville, New York, and that is Amityville Cult. So it's about this dude who inherits this house from relatives, and he finds out some really twisted crap has been going on in this place. And it's not bad. It's actually a pretty fun film overall. As far as Amityville films go, it's actually pretty good. It's pretty entertaining. I would recommend this one out of the ones I've seen so far. I'd say this one and Vampire top the list out of the ones I've seen.
Cool.
I can't say, that I haven't seen Ghost of Amityville, and I haven't seen Amityville Uprising yet, even though I don't have high hopes for that one. So far so good. Matter of fact, this is the last of the Amityville films that I'm presenting today that I've seen. All the other ones are fresh view. I haven't seen any of them yet. And we're going to get some entertaining stuff, matter of fact. Some pretty cool stuff, some names I know. It's going to be fun.
Actually, I kind of did the same thing quite by accident. I'm presenting two things I've not seen before, and they're going to be the last two. So,
I've still got 5 more to go.
Yep. Well, I got 2 more out of my, just sitting around stash. One movie that I abso-freaking-lutely loved when I saw it. I just loved it. I thought it was such a cute, charming, warm-hearted movie. And it baffled me because it was from the same guy that did The Beach and 28 Days Later and Trainspotting. And Danny Boyle followed all of those films up with a little movie that should have gotten a whole lot more love than it did, called Millions, which is about these 2 brothers in the countryside of England who one day a great big satchel of money literally falls at their feet from where they don't know. And he, the younger kid, the one that you see on the cover here, just wants to make everybody's life better. He sets about being sort of a Saint Nick of his town, whereas his brother just wants to have fun and enjoy the loot. And eventually it turns out that the money did come from somewhere, and there is going to be some sort of a reckoning for it. But overall, it's a warm, charming family film from the guy that did Trainspotting and 28 Days Later. So again, I love shit that surprises the hell out of me, and this one did. Did you ever see this one?
Nope, not at all. I've heard of it.
Yeah, it's worth a watch.
Oh boy. Some fun stuff. Trainspotting, definitely one of those heartwarming films.
Well, Danny Boyle is one of those directors who you never know what the hell his next movie is going to be. Yeah.
Well, I guess I'll go ahead with a slightly different turd of a film, and that is Amityville Outhouse. Now, I actually know Adam Riot Thorne a little bit. He's more of a comedic actor. And he created this lovely little thing. I've got this, of course, it came with this sticker and the toilet paper and remember to wipe after watching and wash your hands. And then this guy like here is like, thanks, Brandon Sen. And then he's got that signed. So, you know, it's kind of fun there. And
Yeah.
so on the back here, we got beware the tales from the stinkiest, darkest part of the stinkiest, darkest parts of any schlockology. Prepare your butt for the most stupid stories in the fart-fueled foolishness. So-called comedian Adam Riot Thorne once again dragged his friends into performing for his selfish entertainment. Meet the evil beings like the pandemic gnarly, the Pandemaniac, gnarly the puppet, the meat man, Gabagool, as well as the foul stench of the very outhouse itself. Are you stupid enough to watch this film? Quotation marks. You will be.
Okay.
We're going to have fun with this one, I have a feeling. So I saw this on Facebook.
Yeah.
And my immediate thought was, I need a physical copy of this. I've got the 70-second copy made. And I found out, I was like, okay, where'd you get it? Oh, you got it from him. Okay, I'm getting this. Oh, yes, I am. And I got it. I could not help but get this. Some things are just too crazy for me to ignore. Amityville and an outhouse to boot. I mean, come on now. I like schlock. Matter of fact, I might have to see if I can get Mo to cover this on Schlockaholics one time because it just looks that horrid. But it's going to be fun.
Yeah. You'll just have to dump it on him, right?
They'll be taking a dump one way or another.
Right. Just make sure you let him know who's the number 2, right? Okay, so speaking of shit, I've got another war movie. But this is a really, 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 really good movie. And it's one that actually did win the Oscar for Best Foreign Language Feature, but it really should have been up for a bunch of other awards. Just like the film, every now and then you see a movie where you remember the viewing. I first saw Mulholland Drive in theaters, and then I rented it along with this movie, and I watched Mulholland Drive, and then I watched No Man's Land, and then I watched Mulholland Drive again. And I remember it distinctly because the third time was when I got that other movie. This one you get on the first go-around, but you get more with repeat viewings. But No Man's Land is a film, if I remember correctly, and I hope I'm not mistaken about this, I want to say it was actually a Bosnian release, but I could be stepping in it by saying that it's oh wait a minute, well no, it was from that neck of the woods, but it takes place in the it takes place in the Bosnian Serbian conflict, and it takes place in no man's land, where you have a Bosnian soldier, a Serb, and a third soldier whose nationality I don't actually remember offhand, but he happens to be trapped on a landmine. He can't move because he's on a live mine. And the other two can't leave because if either side goes, that's just going to start the whole battle all over again. There's sort of a respite because of these people abandoned in the middle. And again, this is one of those human dramas that uses characters on both sides of the conflict to really delve deep into both sides. And it's just a phenomenal movie. I absolutely loved it. And it's not an easy watch, but it is a phenomenal. Actually, wait, Oscar nom. I thought it won. I think it won. But anyway, it like I said, just really, really, really great film. Another one where I am really waiting for a Criterion release. I feel like there has to be one coming sooner or later. And I'd love to have some special features. I ain't got shit on this release. Well, no, sorry, original theatrical trailer. But anyway, very good one.
All right. Well, ugh. So this is another one by people that has at least one person I know. Wild Eye released this, and this is called Amityville Hex. So that's kind of a cool looking cover there. I like the cover. Matter of fact, a lot of these have cool looking covers. So it's The Curse has gone viral. An online game becomes a viral sensation during a pandemic, but is accidentally a paranormal death hex controlled by a demon linked to the original Amityville murders. It must be stopped before it takes more unlucky souls with every uttered breath of the curse. So this one's a little bit special, as I need to see it, but it's kind of special because, well, my friend Kyle was in this one. So, you know, that's worth the price of admission right there. So we'll definitely be watching this. When? Not sure. But definitely we'll be checking it out because it's going to be some fun.
All right. So my last three are actually my new pickups. And they are the ones from, I did a small purchase, like I said, probably about a month ago, from the library. And I just realized that there is an issue with this first one, which makes me somewhat regret having gotten it and wonder if I can actually offload my initial copy just yet. But I'll still present it because it's still worth having in the collection. And if it takes me forever to get to it, I honestly don't care all that much. And this is the complete Matrix trilogy on Blu-ray. But you see the reason for my sudden reticence. It's the UK edition.
I shouldn't laugh at that.
I didn't realize that. I don't know. It's a nice looking set. A little dinged up, but nice looking. Doesn't take up a lot of space. And I actually only... What's that?
So what region does it say it is, too?
Well, it's UK release, so it's going to be region 2. I actually only had The Matrix. I did not have the 2 sequels. Not like I really give a shit about them, but it's nice to have it all in one compact package. And there are some pretty decent special features. Nothing extraordinary, but decent. So if I ever do get a region-free player or what have you, it'll be worth having it. I just may want to hang on to my Matrix regular DVD for now, just in case.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's not like I really care. I've never been a big Matrix person. And of course, it's no longer complete now that there's a 4th one out. So I might even end up upgrading for a 4-movie set anyway. So... yeah.
Well, they have a 1 DVD length. Basically, it's a 4K set that's about the size of 1 DVD. It has all 4 films on it.
Okay.
It's currently on the Amazon's Cyber Monday sale.
Okay. What's it running?
That's a good question. But it'll look pretty good.
Anything more than $6 or $7 is probably too much.
Let's see. Matrix 4K. Let's see here. The 4K set right now, The 4K is 45. Let's see here. The Blu-ray is 21.
Yeah, it's too much.
Which that's not bad. I mean, you're getting 4 films out of it.
We're talking about The Matrix, though. I don't give enough of a shit to pay $21 for it. I'll get it when it's like 10.
Well, with that being said, let's move on to some more stuff that's probably not worth $10. So, these are 2 films that are slightly different by 2 different directors. One Mark Polonia and one Dustin Ferguson. But they take Amityville to new heights. Some even further than you would think. And this double feature has Amityville in the Hood by Dustin Ferguson and Amityville in Space by Mark Polonia. I mean, you know...
I have a feeling they'll have as much to do with it as Uprising does.
So the first one, an Amityville investigator fights his last battle with the ultimate evil, this time in space, when the infamous murder house ends up in the 23rd century with him trapped inside. So you would be wrong because apparently has. Let's see. In the Hood, a gang uses the cursed Amityville property to grow marijuana, but it soon makes its way to the streets where it's giving users a killer buzz. So you got the Amityville winery from Amityville Karen, and then you mix it with the Amityville Amityville like marijuana crop there, and you got some interesting combinations, I guess.
Right.
I gotta give it this. They sound fun. But with Polonia and Ferguson, I have to see them first before I can really, truly say they're awesome. Some people have said they really like them, but a lot of people who say that they've told me they liked Amityville in Space also love everything Mark Polonia puts out, and so I need a more honest answer. Right. So I am going to watch it for myself eventually, probably more later than sooner.
Huh.
But you're going to be dragged into watching that eventually.
Right.
But considering we're going in chronological order for our project in the future, it's going to take a while before we get to those.
It's the video that never ends. Anyway. So, next up, a show that I have yet to start watching or see any episode of, but I've had season 1 for a long time now. And I had an opportunity to pick up an unopened, not unwatched, unopened season 2 set. And you can see Preacher is woken up behind me and he's hanging out. So that's kind of fun. He's joining us this time. Is a show, again, I had season 1 on DVD. So this is actually going to be a mixed collection, I guess. But I got season 2 of Vikings, but like I said, unopened, unwatched, $2. You can't really beat that. So, yeah, why not? And I've heard decent things. I'll get to the show eventually, but with 2 seasons, I at least have enough to get underway and know if I want to get more of it.
Yeah, there's so much on some of these on the Cyber Monday deals that I want to get. Like, I'd love to get the $23 Laverne and Shirley complete collection.
Yeah.
But again, I just do not have the money to do it. But one day, next year, I'll have money, I'm sure.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Now, this year, I do have something I'm going to be watching probably sooner than later because it's Christmas themed. And that is the Amityville Christmas Vacation. So, again, I saw this on... I've got a couple people who also like to collect these. And he's like posting. I'm like, okay, where did you get this? And it's by the same people who did the Carousel movies, and those are decent enough. And I am very curious about it. So Wally has won a vacation to sunny Amityville.
Mm-hmm.
It's over in New York. I don't know how sunny you're going to get during Christmas. While there, he met a woman, a ghost woman.
Mm,
I give ghost in all capital letters. A ghost woman.
right.
Can the spirit of Christmas bring these two opposites together?
Mm,
This is by Silver Spotlight Films. So you can actually buy them off the site. And, hey, support them. Support small creators. I am very much looking forward to this. I will be watching this holiday season. So I'll probably let people know in one of my first impressions reviews what I think of this once I get to it.
okay.
Only one more left.
Yeah. Well, speaking of independent cinema, but getting into the realm of critically acclaimed independent cinema that has a little more of a budget behind it, a film that has gotten tremendous praise over the years. The critics absolutely love it. I'm actually amazed this does not have a Criterion release yet. I'm amazed that it doesn't. Can't remember the Oscar history. I think it was up maybe for a couple of awards. But back to our old friend, I mentioned 28 Days Later, the star of 28 Days Later, Cillian Murphy, who since then has become pretty big in movies, but at the time he was a relative unknown. There was another film that came out not long after that still did not put him on the map, but helped him build his street cred, as it were. A Ken Loach film that, again, got tons and tons and tons of buzz is called The Wind That Shakes the Barley. And it's a film about basically about Irish freedom fighters. Like, it's about the struggle for Irish independence. So, again, I guess another politically tinged war-themed film. I swear I did not plan on that. It just happened. But this was another one I picked up at the library. I'm usually very selective about picking up DVDs nowadays because they take up so much space relative to Blu-rays. But again, this one just has been on my radar for a long time. I've heard so much about it. And it's got a fun title. It's a really good, memorable title. I think I've seen a film or two by Ken Loach. I know he is known as a director who's really, he likes to do movies about the common man, I guess you could say. And it's a really, and I like Cillian Murphy as an actor, so I'm definitely interested in seeing another early role for him. And again, this was just a couple bucks, so it was like, why not? When Criterion inevitably releases it, I'll upgrade, but I won't be out too much for the first purchase. So,
well, my last but not least, I guess,
probably not going to get a Criterion release, but yeah,
is a film that I had debated about showing off, but I'm going to do it because I show off my purchases here, and that is the Amityville Thanksgiving. So, Ron Bunk is one of the ones who's majorly producing it. Mm-hmm. It's a film by Will Colazzo. And the main reason for me actually getting this, other than being Amityville, and I purchase everything Amityville no matter what, is that a friend of ours, Forrest Bennett, is in it.
Mm-hmm.
He's the killer. He even has his name in these little these little short words down here at the bottom. So hey,
yep.
So let's see here. From what I've heard about this, it's about as good as Amityville Karen. That's not praise. Let's see, Jackie and
I didn't hate it. You said you hated Amityville Karen.
yeah. So hey, maybe you'll like this one. Jackie and Danny are spending the holiday week in therapy instead of at the dinner table. Their marriage has taken a turn for the worst, and they turn to what they believe to be the only option. Amityville couples counselor Frank DeMonico, a doctor with a hidden sinister past. He recommends an isolated cabin retreat to save their family, but once alone together, the doctor's unorthodox approach starts to push the couple over the edge. Strange visitors, visions, and occult items haunt their stay, coming to peak on Thanksgiving Day. Little do they know that the doctor plans to end their sessions as well as their lives with a devilish dinner and them as the main course. It's a good going, Forrest, for having this nice roll on here. I haven't seen it yet. I'm going to motivate myself to do so in the future. Though I'll admit, Amityville Christmas Vacation has got the lead on me watching it at the moment. But, I will definitely be talking about it when we hit it on our project, which we will do in the future. I'm talking about this because one of the things we're going to start working on in the coming year, not only are we working on a movie project, has to do with Amityville, that Jacob is the hero of, but we're also going to be working on a project where we are going through every Amityville film I've got on physical. So that's probably going to be a ways before you'll see any of these, especially the movie. That's going to take a long time to put together because it's like herding cats. You got to herd people. But I do think that you'll see probably something about this project maybe towards this time next year, probably a little bit earlier, maybe around Thanksgiving time. Not Thanksgiving, probably around October time is my hope to start debuting that show. And then we're going to be working on one that I feel like is going to be more fun, which is going to be a D&D project where we're going to see D&D related movies, which I have almost as many. So it's going to be some fun stuff for the future.
But by this time next year, there's going to be at least 10 more Amityville movies out.
Oh, yeah. I can guarantee you. But with that being said, I hope you've enjoyed this. If you have, click that like button, hit that subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.
Goodbye.